Hello, this little 240 volt permanent magnet motor I found is great. You barely turn it, it jumps up to like 10 and 11 volts, 12 volts. Although I have the DC output from the permanent magnet motor going to my DC to AC inverter. This DC to AC inverter is meant to take 6 volts DC and turn it into 120 volts AC. Alright, I'm going to give you a little explanation as to what this is and how it works. To make a DC to AC inverter, you need a step-down transformer with a center tap on it. I have a 120 to 6 volt step-down transformer that I pulled out of a radio. Alright, how you want to look at this transformer is, this black wire and this red wire are your 6 volt windings, and this white wire is the center tap. They combine for 12 volts AC. You take your 120 volts coming in and you divide it by 12 volts, and that gives you a turns ratio of 10 to 1. But in my case, I'm using this as a step-up transformer, so I have a turns ratio of 1 to 10. And that means anything I put in this side, as long as it doesn't exceed the voltage of the windings, will get stepped up 10 times. You'll also need 2 resistors and 2 NPN transistors. The first thing you do is you take the emitters of your NPN transistors. NPN means the arrow on the emitter is not pointing in. And you take the emitters and you connect them to the negative black wire on the battery clip. You take the positive red wire on the battery clip and you connect it to the center tap of the transformer. Then you take a 220 ohm resistor, you stick it on the base of this transistor, and then you take it over to the collector of this transistor, and then you run it to one of the 6 volt wires on the transformer. Then you take your other 220 ohm resistor and connect it to the base of this transistor and run it to the collector of this transistor, and then you take that to the other 6 volt wire. When the DC comes in, this one transistor switches on, and it sends the current through the transformer in one direction. Then when that transistor switches off, the other one switches on, sending current in the opposite direction. And then it induces an alternating current into the 120 volt winding of the transformer. Here, I'm going to make you really confused now. The positive wire from the battery clip goes to the center tap. When the base of the one transistor is triggered, a positive charge hits one of the 6 volt windings. Then when that transistor switches off when the other transistor switches on, the positive charge goes through the transformer in the opposite direction. This low voltage winding is basically wound in 2 different directions and it's getting hit by positive charges. What comes out of your wall is 60 Hz AC, meaning it switches from positive to negative 60 times a second. To get 60 Hz, you gotta have this circuit just right. This is actually not gonna put out 60 Hz, because you have to add capacitors and all kind of stuff to this. This circuit produces what's known as a square wave, which you don't want. You want a sine wave, a nice smooth wave. And you need to add some other parts to chop off the square part of the wave to make it nice and smooth. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and I hope you learned something.